right, 3:07 on a Tuesday. Dave Elswick Show, KARN. Good to have you along for the ride here at KARN 102.9 FM. And, of course, we try to keep you up to date on everything that's happening politically here in the state. The majority leader is going to join us here in just a moment on KARN, and we're going to be talking to him about what happened with the governor yesterday and what the governor might be up to. And then we're going to talk to State Senator David Sanders after the break. And there's a new technology that is out for fracking that we want to talk about here on KARN as well. It's 61 degrees, feels like it's 60 outside here in Central Arkansas. The majority leader is here. Bruce Westerman joins us on the Dave Elswick Show. And, hey, Bruce, how are you today?
Great, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Listen, the governor basically tried to level new taxes against the natural gas industry yesterday here in the state of Arkansas, in an industry that prices have been suppressed. We've seen some folks that have been drilling here in the state that have moved out to move to other states. That's maybe the regulations are a little easier in the competing state. This doesn't help move the shale gas forward here in the state of Arkansas.
No, it doesn't, Dave. And with the advent of fracking and its widespread use, there's a lot of competition in producing natural gas now. And we saw recently where the Soviet Union is using that as a tool against folks over in Europe and even in Japan with them selling their natural gas. So we've got a great opportunity here to expand our production in Arkansas, but we don't need to be putting roadblocks in the way, and I think that's what would happen if we don't prevent this tax from being collected on the fracking sand. I think it's really an issue about jobs and policy and enacting good policy and following the letter of the law. It's not like something new's trying to be done here. There was a law that was passed a couple of decades ago that gave an exemption for gas and oil production for machinery and equipment that's used in that production. And not too long ago, DFNA started charging sales tax on fracking sand, or propants as it's called. And now that's been challenged in court, and the judge ruled that fracking sand is indeed classified as equipment and should be tax-free. So what we had in that appropriation was just a clarification, and I think it's it's good policy and it's good for jobs in Arkansas. We don't need to be creating even more of an unfair advantage for Arkansas energy producers.
So why did the governor do what he did? Do you have any idea? Have you talked to him directly?
I have not talked to the governor directly. Your guess is as good as mine. I'm sure DFNA is looking for as much revenue as they can, but I don't think it's right that they try to take it from an industry that's doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're following the law, and the judge said they're following the law, and that DFNA doesn't have the right to collect that tax. And I believe they're going to try to appeal that, and they believe they've got grounds to still collect the tax while it's under appeal. But I think as a legislature, we can send a message to DFNA, and more than a message, reiterate the law to them that they're not supposed to be collecting that.
Okay, now, can the legislature go in and stop this? Are you all able to do that?
Yeah, with the language in the appropriation that prohibits DFNA from collecting that tax, absolutely we can stop it. And even in the policy session next year, if the law needs to be clarified, a new law could be passed to stop it as well. But I don't think DFNA should have free reign to go in and try to collect that tax right now with the judge's decision out there, just because they want to appeal that decision. And I believe they'll have a hard time overturning that decision on appeal based on some previous case laws. Okay, so you got one more day in the session. That's going to be tomorrow, and basically you're all supposed to get together just so you can adjourn. Is the speaker talking about bringing this subject up to the whole House? Well, it's an option that we have to override, and it would be a line item veto that the governor used, and we've certainly got that option. That's one reason that Sine dies a week after our last meeting, so we have time to see what goes to the governor and what comes back from the governor's office. So, I mean, that's part of the process to consider any veto, and I expect that we will try to override that veto tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw I saw that State Senator Rapert is calling upon the Senate to override that veto. So it looks like both houses are zeroing up for this. How difficult is it to get everybody on board when everybody is not in the Capitol right now?
Oh, it's extremely difficult. We have a process in place to whip our caucus to find out where the votes are, and we've been working on that for a couple of days. And it's still you get pieces of information trickling in right down to the end, but I think that we'll probably go ahead and try to override the veto tomorrow. Okay,
and how many Democrats? I mean, I'm sure you're going to need a few of them to override the governor. I mean, all you need is a majority, but there's a lot of Democrats that have the Fayetteville Shale in their particular districts. I would think that they wouldn't want to see this happen either.
Yeah, and it's an appropriation bill, Dave. You brought up a good point. It only takes a simple majority to override the veto. But if you look at the original appropriation bill, it had over 75 votes on it. So there's obviously Democrats and Republicans that support what was in that appropriation originally. And it's not just Republicans that live in the Fayetteville Shale area that have oil and gas producers that use fracking sand. So I think it's more about jobs, it's more about policy, and it's more about what's best for the state and for the districts where each representative resides.
All right, so we'll be following this tomorrow, Mr. Majority Leader, and making sure that you all make sure that these folks don't have to worry about paying some extra taxes, and hopefully that will keep us from running off business.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to run off business in this economy, and especially when we've got a good industry like we've got in the oil and gas industry here in the state, and we sure don't want to create a competitive advantage that would push suppliers to other areas.
All right, Majority Leader Bruce Westerman with us here on the Dave Elswick Show. We'll check back with you tomorrow, Bruce, and see how things are going, and we appreciate you calling in from the campaign trail.
Thanks, Dave. Anytime.
All right. Bye-bye now. All right. Bruce Westerman here on the Dave Elswick Show.